The goal here is to understand all of the descriptive details so that you can create what is being described. A monster that is 4 units tall. You can take some time to do this. I'm going to draw a little monster that's 4 units tall. So I know, it doesn't matter if this is the ground, then he can only be this tall. So he has 3 eyes. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you? 4 arms. Okay. There's an arm. There's an arm. There's an arm. And let's make him asymmetrical. There's a 4th arm. 2 teeth. 1 tooth here. And 1 tooth here. And he has a tail. So it doesn't say anything about legs, so I don't have to follow any parameters there, but we'll say he has 2 legs. That seems way too normal. Maybe he just has a tail. He doesn't even have legs. These are arms. It doesn't say anything about hands. I could draw them if I wanted, but what's his name? Harpy. What planet is he from? Plumpkin. And what does he eat? He eats bats. Okay, so that was it good? Was it bad? No one is to judge. It's just, can I draw something with those specific things? 4 units tall, 3 eyes, 4 arms, 2 teeth, and has a tail. Yours is going to look different than that. But if we were doing it as a line and it had these particular descriptions, everyone's is going to look the exact same. It's got to have an x-intercept of -5. So we know the x-intercept is going to go through the x-axis at the value -5. That's going to be right here. And it says that it rises 3 units for every 2 units to the right. So it's going to go up 3 units, but it's not going to happen immediately. It's going to happen 2 units later. So that growth took this amount of time for that to occur. And it's going to continue to do that because that's what lines do. So growing 3 for every 2, or if you went back in time, it would shrink 3 to ago. And there's our line. And now that we have our line drawn, we have established a particular pathway for that line. The question is, what is the slope? M is the representation for slope. And again, that's the rate of change. How did it change? It went from this point to this point. So if you'll recall from our last lesson, it's growing 3 for every 2. So 3 halves. What's the x-intercept? The x-intercept they gave us as -5. We are going to establish that as an ordered pair. And so that would be -5, 0, because this is your x value and this is your y value. That is that location right there. What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept I wasn't aware of until I drew this. This picture is a little misleading, however, because it's going to go up 3 for every 2. If we go 3 in 2 movements to the right, the question is how many would we move in just 1 movement to the right? So if we're going up 3 for every 2, then we'd be going up half of that, which would be 1.5 units. And really, that's what that line should look like. I just didn't draw it the best the first time. So when they say, what is your y-intercept? We actually do know what it is, but it's not as it was first drawn. It'd be 0 and then 7.5. A unit and a half higher than it was here when it was at the 6. So you can always calculate that This one worked out nicely because it was just a half unit, but sometimes those decimals. Can you draw a line that passes through -3, -4? Okay, well, we need to know where -3, -4 is. -3 is the x value, so right here. -4 is the y value, so right here. And it has a y-intercept of -2. Well, here's the y-axis. It says -2. If this said x-intercept, it changes the entire line. The line doesn't go here anymore. It goes here. And the line would go like that. So you got to be careful. Just pay attention to what it says. My line, as you know, will continue. If we have 2 points from a line, we can continue that pattern. This one's growing 2 for every 3, 2 for every 3. And backwards, it would be down 2 for every 3. This time I'm going to use this line tool to make this nice and straight. And now we can answer questions about it because we've already established that line. What is the slope? Well, as we stated, we're growing 2 for every 3. What's the x-intercept? The x-intercept is right here, and that is 3, 0. What is the y-intercept? That is here, and that is a different point, but 0, -2, which did kind of come directly from that. So my goal is to teach you that once you speak this language fluently, these aren't difficult questions to answer. This one only tells us that the line passes through 2 points. Let's find those 2 points, draw the line that passes through them, and we will be able to answer these other questions that were not given to us originally. 4, 1. -2, 4. All right, so it's going from here to here, and that is dropping 3 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's dropping 3 for every 6. And if you draw the line, you'll see that a little bit. We're dropping 3 for every 6, and you could reduce that fraction to dropping 1 every 2. And watch this. If I drop 1 for every 2, 1 for every 2, 1 for every 2, you'll see that I land exactly where the 3 for every 6 was. And you continue that pattern. Patterns are a big part of all this. So I'm going to draw that line. And now we can answer the question. So what is the slope? The slope was 3 for every 6 going downward, but we are simplifying that. We always want to. So my slope is down 1 for every 2. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. Well, that should be located right here and stated as 6, 0. What is the y-intercept? We didn't know that at the beginning of the problem, but that's located right here. And that ordered pair is 0, 3. So we have to make sure that we label our points appropriately. Remember, your x-coordinate always goes first, then your y-coordinate. And here's one more just to kind of practice it one more time. We have a line that has an x-intercept of 5. So we know that the line will cross through the x-axis right there. What we don't know is it going to go like this? Is it going to go like this? Is it going to go like this? We don't know that. It has an undefined slope. So this is important. My slope, when is a slope undefined? That's what we got to figure out. I think we all are guessing that there's a 0 involved. You know, if we do 0 for every 3, that actually comes out to just be 0. So that's not it. Because if you take 0 and divide it by 3, you will get 0. If you did the reverse of that, tried to take 3 and divide it by 0, you would in fact get undefined. So what does that mean? It means that we're rising 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're not moving any time at all. We're still on 5 the whole time. And we're rising 3 again, or we're rising 100, or we're going down 100. It doesn't matter because no time is ever changing. We never are changing our x value because remember, this is your change in the y, and this is your change in the x. We're saying x does not change. So you'll sit on 5 the whole time. So your line goes like this. And you answer the questions. The slope, which came from the description on its own, is undefined. The x-intercept is right here. That is 5, 0. The y-intercept, if you look at this green line, when does it touch the y-axis? Hopefully you're saying that it does not exist. It doesn't ever happen. So that's how we can graph from using some descriptions.